Hello, good evening, David Okon. My name is David Okon. Welcome to my channel. I've been talking about the cost of living over the last 2 months. Recently, the cost of living is about poverty, and I'm looking at wealth now. So I'm looking at some of the richest people. I've been talking about Jeff Bezos. This is the second video about Amazon. If you're looking for this video, look under Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and the cost of living. They are connected. So, like I said in the previous video, I said I will be recording other topics. I'll be looking at different topics because this channel is about knowledge. It's about promoting knowledge, and I will be linking everything I say and do to the cost of living because the cost of living is extremely important to many people in this country and in the other countries, in the countries we live. So I'll be looking at every topic. I will try to connect them to the cost of living. So I'll be looking at Jeff Bezos. I'm looking at the early life of Jeff Bezos. Leave a comment below and let me know if you know Jeff Bezos is the owner of Amazon and uh, and he is the third richest man in the world. Is worth more than about 151, I think, billion US dollar. Leave a comment below if you know how wealthy Jeff Bezos is. Especially if you're a young person, make sure you know something about Jeff Bezos because if you want money, if you want at least a chance to understand what it means to create wealth, I think it's a good idea to spend at least 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, or at least an hour a day, studying, learning something about multi-billionaires and find out how they make their money. Because if you're going to think about money, if you're going to inherit the future, I mean, if you want a future, if you're a young person, it's best to really pay attention to what is important. And when we talk about the cost of living, we also know that the cost of living is caused by lack of income. So to turn it around, to look at it the other way around, you look at wealth, look at people who make money, and you hear their story and learn from what they do. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed so far. Share with your family and friends. And click a notification bell so that you don't miss anything new. Support this channel if you value anything. Even if you don't value anything, maybe do your best and still try to support it because we are two months old. We're making some progress. So we're going to look at the early years, the early life of Jeff Bezos. If you know anything about Jeff Bezos, leave a comment below. He was born Jeffrey Preston Jorgensen. That is his name. Jeff is actually short for Jeffrey Preston Jorgensen. He was born in Albuquerque, in New Mexico. Leave a comment below if you know anything about New Mexico. Albuquerque was born there on the 12th January 1964. He was actually born to a man called a woman rather called Jacqueline, and his father was called Theodore Jorgensen. So he gets Jorgensen from his father. His mother's name was Jacqueline. At the time of James' birth, when he was born, his mother was a 17-year-old, and she was in high school. She was a student there, and his father was also a teenager. James Theodore Jorgensen. Jacqueline was 17 years when he got pregnant with her. When he actually delivered, gave birth to Jeff Bezos, she was 17 years. She was a young person, and this was way back in 1964. Jeff Bezos was born in 1964. So leave a comment below if you know, if you're a teenager, if you're 17-year-old, if you're a girl, and if you got pregnant at 17 years, and you are still at high school, so you're studying, you're a student, okay? You're a student studying at high school. Your parents sent you to school to study at high school. And some man, also, he was Jeff Bezos' father, Theodore Jorgensen, was 19 years old. He was also a student. I don't know if his father was a student, but the material is saying Jeff Bezos' mother was 17-year-old. She was 17 years when she gave birth to Jeff Bezos. And let me know your thoughts. If you discover that a 17-year-old gave birth to a future multi-billionaire, third richest billionaire in the world, leave a comment below. I mean, sometimes young people actually do abortions. It's something called unwanted pregnancy. It's very common. I don't know the statistics. But a lot of young people actually do abortion. I mean, to kind of like at 17, most girls really don't want to have children. They don't want to have responsibility. But if Jeff Bezos was aborted, he wouldn't have existed. We wouldn't have him or his mother and his dad wouldn't have a son who is a multi-billionaire. So, after completing high school, what I'm saying is Jorgensen was a Danish American. A Danish actually came from Denmark in Europe. She was American who came from Europe, from Denmark. So he was Danish. And he was born in Chicago. Chicago is a very interesting place. That's where Barack Obama also, I think Barack Obama was born in Chicago. Former president of the United States of America. It's a mixed race. Mixed races actually are blacks. Leave a comment below if you are mixed race. And also, let me know if you feel you're a black person. Because if you're mixed race, which means like Barack Obama was a mixed race, former president of the United States of America, the husband of Michelle Obama. Barack Obama is from Kenya. Kenya is in East Africa. If you are from Kenya, in East Africa, leave a comment below if you know the family of Barack Obama. He's a Jaluo from Kenya. And Jaluo from Kenya are actually the largest Luo group in the world. I can't remember how many they are, but they are quite I think they are probably numbered in millions. If they're the largest Luo group, then they are measured in they're numbered actually rather numbered in millions. If you're a Luo from Kenya, leave a comment below. The second largest Luo group is in northern Uganda. They're Acholi people from northern Uganda. So I am an Acholi from northern Uganda. If you know anything about Acholi people of northern Uganda, leave a comment below and let me know what you think. They are the Luo of northern Uganda, the third largest after the Kenyan Luo. And Barack Obama, his daddy was from Kenya. His late dad is from Kenya. His paternal family from Kenya. In terms of Luo customs, Obama is a Jaluo rather than an American, but the American culture and customs is different from African culture and customs. So it's a give and take, but he's an American by nationality. In terms of cultural claim, Barack Obama is a Jaluo man. So we Jaluo are very proud of having been, in the presidency of the United States of America. Who would have thought a Jaluo from Kenya or from wherever could end up being the president of the United States of America? Think about it. And the reason I'm mentioning Barack Obama is that Barack Obama was foreign who traveled to America. The same with Danish. Jorgensen, Theodore Jorgensen. Jeff Bezos' father was also foreign going to America. He was an immigrant who came from Denmark in Europe and settled in America. The difference between the two is that Barack Obama came from America, from Kenya, in Africa, East Africa. But Jorgensen came from, Jeff Bezos' father came from Denmark in Europe. And also Barack Obama's mother was white Irish from Europe also. So Barack Obama is partly African, partly Irish, because his mom's family, his white mother, and our family came from Northern Ireland in Ireland in Europe. And Barack Obama is a mixed race because the one half of his parent was white and the other half was black. So if you're a mixed race, leave a comment below how you feel about being a mixed race. Do you feel black? Because Barack Obama is described as a black man. To our credit, to our celebration as a black people, because black people rule America for the first time in human history, from slave to statehood. That is a remarkable record, historical, because the time can really change. And the story of Barack Obama is quite similar to the story of Jeff Bezos, and so Jorgensen was a Danish American and was born in Chicago to a family of Baptists. So he was also born like Barack Obama. Jeff Bezos' father, Theodore Jorgensen, was born in Chicago. And Chicago is very Obama as well. Very Obama see was Chicago was his consistency as a political a personality and also institution. Their family were Baptist. If you're a Baptist, if you know somebody who is a Baptist in your family, if you're a Baptist, let me leave a comment below. Let me know how it is, how it feels being a Baptist. So Jeff Bezos' family were Baptists. They are Christians. Baptist actually a form of Christianity. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you know anything about Baptists. If you know anything about Christianity at all, because yeah. So after completing high school, despite challenging conditions, Jacqueline attended night school while bringing Jeff along as a baby. So Jeff Bezos' mother, Jacqueline, continued in education. She was studying at night. She attended a night school while actually being a mother, bringing Jeff Bezos along as a baby. She's such a strong woman. Maybe she bear resemblance with Barack Obama's mother. It wasn't in my plan to actually mention Barack Obama in this program, but it's coincidental because they were foreign. Both Bezos and Barack Obama are foreign origins, and their beginnings were full of challenges, and their mothers. Jeff Bezos' mother was a very strong woman. If you're a single mother, I wouldn't say a single mother necessarily. I would say a young mother at 17 who is so strong. She was so determined to be in school. I mean, if you face adversity, if you're facing adversity now, maybe to do with the cost of living or anything, and you are only 17, you're a girl, you're pregnant, you have given birth, you're facing the cost of living, leave a comment below. I mean, how does it feel to have to be a mother? Do you have a son or a daughter? Are you looking after your child? Do you know who your child is going to be? Is it the next prime minister? Could be the next prime minister. Because if you are born in Britain, potentially you can be a prime minister of this country. Or you could be one of, like somebody like Richard Branson of Virgin. He's also a multi-billionaire. I think he's worth about $3 billion US dollar. Leave a comment below if you know how much Richard Branson is worth of Virgin business empire. He's a multi-billionaire as well. So he's British. And if you like this topic, talking about wealthy people, leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts, and so we can talk about wealthy people as much as you like. You just have to look for information and do a bit of a study so that I can work with the material and share their experience. But I think the value of this material and this presentation is to help those interested in stories like this to actually use this material to improve their knowledge. And also, if you learn about somebody, you share in their experience, and it makes you a better person. There's a difference between ignorance and enlightenment. And I think if you're young, if you are old, if you're a man or woman, it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you're a human being. I think enlightenment is better than ignorance. Especially knowledge about somebody who is so important, as Jeff Bezos is. He's a wealth creator. In the cost of living, I mean, if you're to learn something important, learn about how to make money. And sometimes listening to a story of somebody who is one of the richest, the third richest man on earth, is worth your while. I think it's really important. Leave a comment below if you think otherwise, or if you agree with me. Leave a comment below. And obviously, That's what I'm trying to share with you here. And it's a lead also for, especially young people, it's a lead for them to actually explore these ideas. Because, some of these people, I've lined up a few individuals, I will speak about them. I've decided to speak about uh, Elon Musk also, is the second richest man on earth. And also somebody called Bernard Arnault. Bernard Arnault is a French billionaire. He's the richest. He's now the richest. He and his family are worth over 200 billion US dollar. So to learn their behavior, like their mindset and their approaches, is really important because I heard about Jeff Bezos on the television on a few days ago. Before I actually decided to talk about him because I was curious. I actually didn't know anything about him, but I'll be talking about him. I'm so excited. But I hope you are excited. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you're excited about learning about multi-billionaires. It's the same with rubbing your shoulder. I mean, if you are actually stressed, you're so depressed, you're so sad, sometimes, listening about some good news about other people might make you happy. I'm not saying it's going to, but, it's a win-win. It's a win-win situation. Try your best, try your luck, and see how it goes. Um, so, mm, so what I said. So, what I was saying, so far I was saying, his mom was studying at 17. She had a baby. She had Bezos, and she continued to study at a night school while bringing Jeff Bezos along as the baby. So Jeff Bezos himself attended a Montessori school in Albuquerque, where he was born in New Mexico when he was 2 years old. So he went to school at two years. When he was 2 years. How old were you when you went to school? Leave a comment below. If you're in Africa, if you are in America, if you are in the UK, you're in Europe, how old did you go to school? Mark Bezos attended Montessori school in Albuquerque in New Mexico when he was 2 years old. And that's where he started. He went to school. You can admire his parents. His parents were young. They were teenagers, especially his mother. His parents actually divorced some years. And then his mother married. He married again. Jeff Bezos' mother remarried. He remarried a Cuban immigrant, Miguel Mike Bezos in April 1968. That's where Jeff Bezos got his surname, his family name. He got his family name from his stepfather because his real daddy got divorced from his mother. So Jeff Bezos would have been Jeff Jorgensen. He would have taken his father's mom, his real father's name, surname. But because his mom and dad divorced, and his mother remarried again, she married a Cuban immigrant. Also, Miguel Bezos, Mike Bezos. So this happened in actually 1968. Jeff Bezos was born in 1964. 4 years later, his parents divorced, and his mom married another man, a Cuban immigrant. His name was Miguel Mike Bezos. That was in 1968. Shortly after the wedding, Mike adopted 4-year-old Jeff Bezos, whose surname was then legally changed from Jorgensen to Bezos. So that's the story of Jeff Bezos. Our parents, our mom waited to his stepdad, who actually adopted 4-year-old Jeff, and whose surname was changed legally. It was changed from Jorgensen, his biological father's surname, from Jorgensen to Bezos. So after Mike had received his degree from the University of New Mexico, the family moved to Houston, Texas, so he could begin working as an engineer for Exxon. Now, now this information probably relates to Jeff Bezos' father, and who might be a student, because I think Mike, after Mike had received his degree from the University of New Mexico, I think he was a student also, because only 4 years after they married 4 years after Jeff Bezos was born. So when they got married, Jeff Bezos' mother must have been 21 years. So they were still young couples. Even I think the Mexican was still young, probably was a student. Because the material is saying Mike received his degree from the University of New Mexico. The family then moved to Houston, Texas, so that he could begin working as an engineer for Exxon. So he was his stepfather was an engineer who started working for Exxon. If you comment below if you know Exxon in New Mexico, that's how they moved into New Mexico. So Jeff attended Riverhawks Elementary School in Houston from 4th to 6th grade. And so when they moved into New Mexico, New Mexico, so Jeff Bezos then moved into the elementary school called Riverhawks Elementary School in Houston. Houston is in Texas, actually, from 4th to 6th grade. So for 2 years in elementary school. So James' maternal grandfather was Lawrence Preston Guys. So on his father's side, there was also a man called Lawrence Preston, who was actually his uncle. His great uncle from his father's side, from his mother's side. So the maternal grandfather was Lawrence Preston Guys, a regional director of the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission (AEC) in Albuquerque. So there's a family connection within the Albuquerque, within the engineering. So he was actually Atomic Energy Commission. I think commissioner is actually a government post. It's an administrative post in the government infrastructure. So he was a regional director there. And Lawrence retired early in his family's ranch near Cotula, Texas, where Jeff would spend many summers in his youth. So Jeff Bezos used to actually spend a lot of time with his grand uncle, our maternal father, grandfather actually. When he retired, Lawrence, when he retired, he actually um, they had a family ranch in somewhere called Cotula in Texas, where Jeff would spend many summers in his youth. So during his youth time, he liked spending time in his great grandfather's uh, ranch, which was a very nice experience. I think living in a ranch is really, if you're a young man, if you're probably also a child, must have been really so exciting. So Jeff would later purchase this ranch and expand it from 25,000 acres, that is 10,117 hectares, to 300,000 acres, which is actually 121,406 hectares. So he bought it actually and added more acreage to it. So Jeff displayed scientific interest and technological proficiency and once rigged an electric alarm to keep his younger siblings out of his room. So his obsession was actually scientific actually. So his passion was scientific. It was actually passionate about science and technology, and he didn't want to be disturbed. He didn't want his siblings to interfere with his progress. So he tended to rig electric alarm to keep his younger siblings out of his room. I don't know how he did it exactly, but he sabotaged the system so that his siblings, he wanted to be alone. He didn't want people around very much. He was actually focused. He was so determined as a young person to actually do his own things. He was very focused, and he didn't want interfering. He didn't want to be interrupted. So he kept his siblings away from his room, which is quite interesting. This is the making of a multi-billionaire. If you're a young person, if you're interested in something, turn it into your obsession. I'm not talking about drugs. I'm not talking about alcohol, because drugs and alcohol can destroy your life if you're obsessed with them, if you're addicted to these things. You'd rather be addicted to learning. You don't have to learn like him. You don't need to him to be a millionaire as a young person. Or even if you're 90 years old, you can still be a millionaire. Even if you are now languishing in poverty, you're retired to poverty, receiving, welfare state pension, which is not enough, which is a different topic. I will be going back to discussing the cost of living in terms of these specifics, things like pension policies in the UK. I made that promise, so I will be going back to do that. I'm just taking a break from the cost of living proper to look at the issues surrounding the cost of living, which is actually income. And I look at income of poor people. I'm not looking at income of wealthy people through the prism of these three personalities. The first one is Jeff Bezos. And what I want you to understand from this material is that Jeff Bezos was an ordinary human being. He has a history. He grew up probably the same way you grew up. Maybe slightly different. Maybe he had more opportunities about him to get him a head start in life. But what I'm trying to achieve here is actually to let you know that if you can achieve success, you too can achieve. It doesn't matter if you're a young person. It doesn't matter if you're 90 years, if you're 50, 40, 30, whichever age, you can still achieve. You don't even need to be a millionaire. You probably, if you start a project now, maybe just cooking cookies, making cookies and selling it online. in your kitchen. You just bake cakes and sell it online. You begin making money. You begin to make little money. I mean, if you're disciplined, like Jeff Bezos was actually disciplined as a child, you focus, you meet friends, you have fun, but you make one or two things your priority and you concentrate on it. I believe for everyone watching this video, I believe you can remember that if one person can succeed in what they set out to achieve, everybody can if they do something similar to what those who succeeded. When I say succeed, I mean what you really, really want to do. Because a lot of people succeed in many things every day, but so many people do not achieve what they really, really want to achieve. And normally they're restricted financially. They are restricted in different ways. Maybe they fall sick, but whether sick or healthy, you can still succeed in one way or the other. You don't have to be a multi-billionaire or a multimillionaire. You can succeed in different ways. I mean, you can make a profit every month, $500 or pounds, just making cookies or donuts. Baking donuts. You're cooking some food and selling it to people online. People can collect food from your home. Cooking in your kitchen. I mean, all this idea. If you like breakfast, you like lunch, you like supper, you're just good at something. You know, you can taste it. I know a few people in my community here who are actually doing that. They're making cakes. They're making different kind of items. They're selling it, and I think they're making money. If I mean, if you're lucky, if I am lucky, I'll probably interview one of them one of these days, and you can see the video on this channel, and so that's why I'm actually trying to share with you the experience of Jeff Bezos and his family. He was an ordinary person who became extraordinary. So that was his part of his traits. He loved science. He loved technology. And he was good at it. Let's talk about technological proficiency. He was already good at it. That was actually what he displayed, the character trait he displayed as a young person. And he was actually schematic. He was very schematic socially, but also in terms of work ethics. To the point that he actually rigged a system to get his siblings out of his way, because he didn't want people to interfere with his time. So the family of Jeff Bezos moved to Miami. Miami, if you remember Miami Beach, then you know Miami. Miami is a really, really a vibrant place in America. In Florida, they went to Florida. And from there, Jeff attended Miami Palmetto High School. Leave a comment below if you know Palmetto High School in Miami. That's where, when Jeff and their parents moved to Miami in Florida, then he went to Palmetto High School in Florida, in Miami. I keep touching the wrong button, and it cost me a lot of. It cost me a lot of heartache. I would say heartache, but because I just lose track of the material totally. Touching the wrong thing, it doesn't make sense everything totally, completely. Bear with me. So we were saying, he was actually very, very, very. Bear with me a second. Everything is just so ridiculously messed up. I don't know. Okay, it's supposed to show me something. Where I'm at least. It's not doing anything. Sorry about that. It's doing its own thing. So just bear with me. Mm, Sorry about that. Yep, I got it. I got it. Nearly. Um, and this video is not yet being edited, so that's the problem. We're nearly there. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So we're talking about Jeff Bezos attending a high school, Palmetto High School in Miami, in Florida. And leave a comment below if you know where, if you know anything about Palmetto High School. Um, while he was in high school, while Jeff was in high school, he worked at McDonald's as a short order a line cook during the breakfast shift. So he was a cook. Jeff Bezos was a cook, you know, short order line cook. Probably he didn't even cook. Probably he cooked because he was a cook actually during breakfast shift. So it was a light meal cooker, not cooker really, cook, a light meal cook at McDonald's. So like I said, in the previous segment of this video, I said Jeff Bezos was an ordinary child with extraordinary personality and I would say character. He worked at McDonald's. He was in high school. While this is what normal young people do, even in Britain, where McDonald's is. They work at McDonald's. But he worked like a cook, as a cook at McDonald's. So, you know, when he was still in school, he was in high school, he worked at McDonald's as a cook. Okay? So that's why I say he's a very interesting character because if you follow his life story, it's just it's a normal process. It's like every young person, every individual can relate to him, to his story, which means everyone can make a difference in their life the way he made a difference with his life. So Bezos attended the school science, student science training program at the University of Florida. Um, so he was interested in science, and there was something called a student science training program. So if you go there, you train. You train within a program as a student. So he was already creative. He was actually not sitting and doing nothing. He was focused. He was focused on business because he was working at a McDonald's as a cook. He wanted to raise money. His mindset, in the other videos when I said about this, the cost of living being a income maximization situation, as a solution to the cost of living, we look at income maximization. So Jeff Bezos was already um, aware of the cost of living. The cost of living, like I said in the other videos, the cost of living didn't just happen this year or last year with the crisis. There's a difference between the cost of living and the cost of living crisis. Right now, we are in a crisis to do with the cost of living, and that is the function of policy, the media, and me also talk about it because it's a sign of capitalism. Like I said, capitalism is changing very rapidly. Governments are changing policies. There's a lot of stress, social and sociological stress, political stress, security, emergencies are very common in Africa. We just finished looking at the Wagner Group in the other video. These are all factors related to the cost of living, related to capitalism, related to globalization as well. So Jeff Bezos understood this thing in his own way. The cost of living. He worked at McDonald's as a cook. As a high school student, he tried to maximize income. And so young people now can do something similar. They can maximize their income. They can actually teach themselves to be disciplined. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Nothing is easy in life. But it's not easy also to be on the street. A lot of young people are now being killed on the street. Actually, a lot of young people are so frustrated now, not knowing what to do. They're committing suicide. This is in the UK. Actually, suicide is the highest. Is represent the highest rate of death among the youth in the UK. So stories like this is supposed to really help young people to look at life in a positive way, in a different way. That, normal, ordinary people, not just young people, but adults also. You may not be working at the moment. You may be sick. You may be out of work for one reason or another. Maybe you feel. Maybe you are also a pensioner, because pensioners can also work. You can still get your state pension in the UK and work if you want to work. So stories like this actually can help change your life. It doesn't mean you need to do anything about it, but it just keep you thinking in a certain way. So he wanted to be a scientist and a technician. So actually he joined student science training program at the University of Florida. Florida was where he lived. So this is his progress. The material say he was a high school valedictorian, a national merit scholar, and a Silver Knight Award winner in 1982. High school valedictorian, a national merit scholar, and a Silver Knight Award winner in 1982. I don't know exactly what that means. Leave a comment below. You know what it means, but I think you can guess that that was actually his award. What he got. He got because of his source of recognition. In his graduation speech, Bezos told the audience he dreamed of the day when mankind would colonize space. So he is a colonizer and a dreamer. In his spirit, when he made a graduation speech, he told his audience that he dreamed of the day when mankind would colonize space. I don't know how many young people now and adults are thinking of mankind colonizing the space. Leave a comment below if you think of colonizing the space. First of all, you think about colonialism. In this case, he's not trying to colonize the world. He's trying to colonize the space. He's dreaming already. He was dreaming then when he graduated from college. And that's the kind of person he was. And a local newspaper a local newspaper quoted his intention to get all people off the earth and see it turn into a huge national park. So even the newspaper actually spotted it in his speech, and they quoted him and his intention to get all people off the earth and see the earth. He wanted to turn the earth into a huge national park. I don't know what national park means. Leave a comment below if you know what a national park look like. It is full of people or full of animals or full of nature. What is a national park, and what kind of activity goes into in a national park? I think it is actually a national park as I know it now. When you in the UK here, sometimes if you go to some big national I don't know about national park, but leave a comment below if you know in the UK or in Europe, in America, what a national park look like now. People goes in the park to have dinner, to take a walk. These are actually parks. I don't know about national park, but you probably in national park you're going to get wild animals there. Like you see in Africa is more common. National park. Here you find deer, reindeer, and all the other wild animals in a national park. In a zoo, for example, something like that. So he want the earth to be a national park. I mean, it is a very strange way to be dreaming of the future of the earth, turning it into a national park and sending humans into an outer space. Mass evacuation. So that's what Max Bezos wanted to do. He wanted to actually evacuate the earth of humans. That was what he believed. Probably now he is actually still planning to do the same. So I keep calling him Mark. God bless him. It's Jeff Bezos. My apologies. Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos wants to send human beings into space. Leave the earth. Okay, turn the earth into a national park. That was his dream. And I believe it is still his dream, probably what motivates him to be a scientist and a technician and an investor. I think that is a perfect plan. And maybe you want to know a good plan in terms of in terms of execution of plans, in terms of actually strategy, vision. Then listen to him, because he believed in something and he pursued it. He aimed to make money, because without money, you cannot do a project. He makes money. He pursues knowledge, knowledge of science, knowledge of technology. These are really very key in terms of modern development. If you're a young person, if you start thinking like that, people are not going to look for you to solve their problem. Because if you are a technician, it doesn't matter if you're a gas technician, gas engineer, or computer engineer, or just a researcher. You do research for people who actually want information. You can sell your information online. So from this, you can, from looking at the experience of Jeff Bezos and his approach, his beliefs, it's fascinating. So in 1986, he graduated. He graduated summa cum laude from Princeton University with a 4.2 GPA and a Bachelor of Science Engineering degree, BSc in Electrical Engineering. And computer science He was also a member of Phi Beta Kappa. So if you graduate summa cum load. I don't know what that means. I entirely I don't know what that means. Summer cum load. Graduate summer cum load. Uh, what I take from that information, because I don't know what the writers. What you need to know, he graduated in 1986 from Princeton University, and he graduated with something called 4.2 GPA. I don't know what that is. That stands for 4.2 GPA. If you know, leave a comment below. And I also graduated with a Bachelor of Science. I think he had a multiple degree in terms of graduation, and he also graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering degree, BSc, Bachelor of Science that is clear, BSc, Bachelor of Science in Engineering. Is a degree in Bachelor of Science degree in Engineering. So, and also in Electrical Engineering, and also in Computer Science. And he was also a member of Phi Beta Kappa. Leave a comment below if you know Phi Beta Kappa. But I like to think these are really some really important things he had achieved. While at Princeton, Bezos was a member of the Quadrangle Club. I don't know what Quadrangle Club is. One of Princeton's 11 eating club. Right. So there was a club of people who want to eat food. One of Princeton's 11 eating clubs. I think when you go for dinner, if you are Jeff Bezos, and if you are at Princeton University, one of the leading universities in the world, not just in America, and if you join membership of one sort or another, you are looking to network, to socialize, and he did that. In addition, he was elected to Tau Beta Pi and was the president of the Princeton chapter of the Students for the Exploration and Development of Space, SEDS. So, Tau Beta Pi is now beginning to make sense. I think it's a club. It's a membership it's a membership program. It's elected to it. You are actually invited to it. You don't just go there. So it's like a merited place to be. Tau Beta Pi, and was also the president of the Princeton chapter of the Students for the Exploration and Development of Space, SEDS. So the program of exploration and development of space is in what you go when you leave the house, you go into space. So he was actually involved. He was elected president of the Princeton chapter of the Students for Exploration and Development of Space, SEDS. So you can now see that his behavior, his social organization, his contacts, his interests, his strategy, his methodology was actually formulated as early as college education, university, even at the lower stages of his learning. And that's how he started. Thank you for watching this video. At the next video, we are going to continue looking at Jeff Bezos. It's getting better and better than I even thought. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. What you think about this channel, what you think about the topic involving Jeff Bezos. And also do something else. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Share with your family, whether you know me or you don't. Especially if something really, if you like something about the channel, this place, join me in building it up. Um, 2 or 3 people is better than one working on a project. Let us work together and see how it goes. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.